Teaching is more important and demanding than ever, and most teachers find the growing demand in modern schools difficult and stressful. Hi, and welcome to another session where we explore ways and means to make our schools better. I've structured my session in two parts. You'll see I'm using hats. It's a black hat and a red one. So the black one represents you at school, and the red one, you in your personal life. I'll start with the black hat. So part one, we look at you as the teacher, you in class, you with a title, with education, and spending so much time in class. So, just a few thoughts. Our teachers, and I think you'll all agree with me, are tired, they burned out, stressed, overworked, and worn out, to put it mildly. And as a teacher, you have so many roles to play. For example, you have to be a teacher. That's what you studied for. And if only it could stop there. But unfortunately, there are many other roles teachers have to play. You have to be the counselor, a mentor, a coach, a role model to these learners. You have to be a parent. We talk about loco parentis. You have to be the security, and the list goes on and on and on. And very often, we look like that even in the first term. Now, as a teacher, we are expected to show up. We are expected to step up and own up. Just a few truths about being a teacher. The influence of a good teacher can never be erased. The second one, the teachers come to school in very difficult and trying environments because they are possibly the only hope for a better future for our children. I think, teachers, you are definitely our unsung heroes. And that concludes the first part of my presentation, you at school. Okay, so let's look at the second part of my presentation. There are things that I do know about you, and there are things that I do not know about you. I do not know what issues you're currently dealing with. I do not know who or what is preventing you to be successful and to live a fulfilled, balanced and blessed life. That I do not know. I do not know where you will be in 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months from today. But what I do know is that all of us, with no exception, we all want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want to be loved. We want to be successful. We want the best for our families. And we want to live with a purpose. So I want to ask you this question: how are you? And I'm sure you'll have different answers to this question. Some people may say, I'm good, I'm fantastic, I'm blessed, I'm doing well, I'm feeling optimistic. But the same question, someone can answer, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm in a crisis, or sorry, I'll rather not talk about it. And I think as teachers, we must realize you are totally replaceable at work. You are not replaceable at home. Home is your real life. Please keep that perspective always. So yes, teachers, your work matters, but your health matters more. I would like to use the analogy of an aeroplane. Before the plane takes off, they do this safety checks. And one of the points that they mentioned there, in case of emergency, place the oxygen mask on yourself first. Now that's a very important principle. It means that in time of crisis, you must first look at yourself first, and that is not selfish, because you don't mean anything to someone else if you don't have oxygen in your lungs. And I want to use this analogy going forward. So this presentation is about taking care of yourself, and I just want to, it's a broad term, many definitions for self-care. But the one I like is self-care is a broad term, and it's more than just eating well and rest well. Essentially, it's about taking care of yourself in a way that nourishes your whole being. I'm going to give you 6 basic tips. And for you to remember it, I'm going to use the acronym BREATH. So let's jump right into the first one. B stands for boundaries. It's important to set boundaries. Setting boundaries is a crucial aspect of self-care. How do you set boundaries? An easy way to set boundaries is to learn to say no. Remember, you can't be everything to everyone. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. Boundaries are the lines that define what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. But you have to set that lines. Now, I like what John Maxwell said. He says, learn to say no to the good so you can say yes to the best. When you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. And I think this statement needs to be repeated. When you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. So the B stands for boundaries, setting boundaries. The R stands for reflect. Now, reflect refers to a mental activity that allows you to think deeply. It's not just thinking, but think deeply and critically think about your life. Through reflection, you can gain a clearer perspective of yourself and others. And it helps us make more conscious decisions and learn from others. Now again, very important with reflection, there are 4 basic questions. And as you'll see, it's very easy questions, but I can tell you, this can take you a few minutes to answer, a few days even to answer. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what is working for me? As I said, a very easy question, but I can tell you the answers to this question is not that easy. The second question, what is not working for me? The third question, what is missing? What am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? And then the fourth one, what is next? Let's go back to the first question. What is working? If something is working for you, do more. If something is not working for you, do less or stop it completely. What is missing? What am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? What is next? What is my next step? So, we've looked at the B for boundaries, we look at the R for reflect. Let's look at the E. The E stands for exercise. Now, this is a game changer. Exercise is not something that you can outsource. It's something you do for yourself. A few examples is walking, which is my absolute favorite. Then there's running, swimming, or just dancing. Very important to remember. Movement is medicine. I would like to just take walking, for example, the benefits of walking. It reduces stress. It's healthy for your digestion. It controls weight. It oxygenates the body. And that's what our cells need. It's oxygen. And of course, it improves body image. Just a thought. And as much as I focus on exercise, I want to make the following statement. The state you are in is more important than the shape you are in. Self-care is not just about having a good, healthy body, but it's also about your mental state. We've looked at the B, the R, and the E. Let's look at the A for breath. 3 important letters that can change your life. And these 3 letters are ask. And out of this 3 words that can change your life, and the 3 words are, I need help. Now I know for many people, it's difficult to ask for help. But I can tell you, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. And I would like to leave you with this. Be strong enough to stand alone. Smart enough to know when you need help. And brave enough to ask for it. Find someone to talk to. And very often the person that you talk to, you don't need necessarily advice. You just need an empathetic ear to listen to your concerns. Not a sign of weakness, as I mentioned earlier. Don't suffer in silence. I read something very interesting. It says, problems are inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Get help before it's too late. The T, time. We all complain about not having enough time. And very often people would say to me, we fully agree what you say, but I don't have time. But time is not like a rugby match or a soccer match where there's extra time. You only have that 24 hours. So if something is important to you, you'll make time. But more specifically, me time. We give so much to others. I think of you at school. We give so much to our school, our learners, even family and private time, personal time. My question to you, what do you do for self? So me time, it's a period dedicated to individual needs and interests, allowing you for self-care, relaxation and personal time. Make time for self. It's about giving yourself space to breathe, to reflect and to enjoy the things that light you up on the inside. Me time. We are not all in the same season or in the same stage of our lives. I want to ask you the question, what is the time? Maybe, just maybe, it's time for you to go. I don't say resign. Maybe you can even go in your thoughts, in your mind, you can go. Maybe it's time to go. Maybe it's time to let go. Maybe it's time to take care of yourself. And this is what the session is all about, to take care of yourself. But maybe it's time to forgive your past mistakes, because we all have made mistakes in the past and maybe you're stuck there. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for you to forgive your past mistakes. Maybe it's time to prioritize your happiness and look at the things you've left undone. Let's look at the H of breath. The H stands for habits. We often hear we are creatures of habit. And it's true, if you look at your rituals in the morning, the same thing all the time. And they say if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get the same results over and over. So what is a habit? Habit is a routine behavior that is repeated regularly and it tends to occur subconsciously. It means it happens automatically. Habits are the small decisions you make and actions you perform every day. Second one, it can be either positive or negative. And the third one, of course, your life is essentially the sum of your habits, good or bad. And a book that I really would highly recommend you to read is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. Coming back to habits, I think 3 questions you should ask yourself. And I would like to start with the third one. What is working for me? What is working for me? Again, if something is working for you, continue with it. But I would like to focus on the first one here. What is the one thing that if you would start doing would change your life for the better? The one thing, if you should start doing, would change your life for the better. The second question, almost the same as the first one. What is the one thing that if you would stop doing will change your life for the better? Maybe stop smoking. Maybe start exercising. Sometimes it's small things that can have a huge impact in our lives. So with habits, change your habits, change your life. So to sum up, what I just said is basically breath. Remember breath. The B stands for boundaries. You need to set boundaries. You need to reflect. Like I said, it's deep thinking. You need to exercise. Ask. Make time for self. Me time. And the H for habits. Remember, take care of yourself. Make yourself your highest priority. I thank you, and I thank you.